From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang in review. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday called on Filipinos to unite amid the spate of typhoons that ravaged the country and urged leaders to recommit to faith and lead with compassion and integrity. Speaking at the 49th Philippine National Prayer Breakfast, or PNPB, in Malacañang, the President stressed the importance of unity and faith, especially in the face of challenges the country is facing. Founded in 1975 by Senate President Gil Puyat and lawyer Francisco Ortigas Jr., the PNPB gathered the nation's leaders from government, business, and the faith community to seek God's guidance for the Philippines. President Marcos expressed both gratitude and purpose in joining the PNPB, which he said served as a cornerstone of national reflection, providing an opportunity for leaders to set aside titles and agenda to come together as equal in prayer. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
His Excellency Tui Taisot, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Thailand to the Philippines, Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Secretary Frederick Go, and other members of the Cabinet, honorable members of the Philippine Congress, the Philippine National Prayer Breakfast Foundation Incorporated Chairman Raul Victorino, PNPB Foundation Incorporated President Jose Villanueva, former Chief Justice Renato Puno, Reverend Peter Tanji, officials and members of the PNPB Foundation Incorporated, my fellow workers in government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This event, we are blessed once again as we hold this event, as it is a particularly appropriate time considering the challenges that our fellow Filipinos have been facing since October 21, when severe tropical storm Christine entered our area, and until today, as Typhoon Pepito crosses our archipelago. Our collective faith and prayer to the Almighty is the most powerful tool that we have to weather these storms and the destruction that they bring. And so it is with gratitude and a sense of purpose that I join this Philippine National Prayer Breakfast, or PNPB. The PNPB reminds us that leadership without faith is a ship without a compass. It will sail, but it will drift. True leadership, the kind that transforms people's lives for the better, is guided by wisdom and is rooted in faith and in God. And that's why, Reverend, when I pray, I only do two things in my prayers. I thank God for the blessings that we have already received, and I pray that He continues to bless me with wisdom, with compassion, and with the love of our country that will be forever undying. While our knowledge may guide our actions, it is divine wisdom, the kind that prayer instills, the kind that calls us to action anchored in moral clarity that illuminates our path. For almost half a century, this gathering has stood as a testament to the power of faith, one that transcends boundaries, binds us in hope, and serves as both compass and anchor for the leadership. It is in this shared space of reflection that we rediscover the courage to act decisively, the humility to listen intently, and the resolve to build a nation that reflects the best of what we are. The vision of the PNPB to unite in the Spirit of Christ, shaping our lives according to God's will, and working together to bring about the realization of God's reign in the Philippines is a clarion call to all who bear the responsibility of leadership, to look beyond the immediate, to aspire to what is enduring, to what is righteous. The PNPB has been a cornerstone of national reflection, a moment when leaders set aside titles and agenda and come together as equals in prayer. In a world where the pace of change can outstrip our capacity to care for others, such moments of collective introspection are more crucial than ever. The world and our country are facing so much divisiveness in belief, in politics, even generational and cultural differences. These often make us forget our humanity, that we are one in our shared goal to serve our fellow Filipinos, to help the Philippines flourish. The mission of the PNPB to inspire leaders to embrace prayer, reflect on God's word, and lead with integrity is a reminder that leadership demands accountability to a greater, much higher standard. Let us ensure that in every decision, in every action, the spirit of love, mercy, and humility is present. To all the future leaders amongst us, let us remember this. Faith is a beacon for the future. Let it guide you as you navigate the uncharted waters of leadership. You will draw courage from it when faced with doubt. It will temper your ambition with a sense of purpose greater than self. Let us bequeath to the next generation a leadership culture that values integrity over expediency, vision over short-term goals, and harmony over discord. Today, I extend an invitation to recommit. Recommit to the responsibility of service imbued with faith, where decisions are made not in haste, but with prayerful discernment. Let us renew our pledge to seek divine wisdom, to build bridges where there are divides, and to lead with conviction. Our nation's best days are ahead of us. With God's grace, we can achieve this bagong Pilipinas of peace, unity, and lasting prosperity. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang sambayan ng Pilipinas.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday expressed gratitude to first responders and local government units, or LGUs, for working tirelessly as consecutive typhoons battered parts of the country in recent weeks. In a media interview, the president reported one fatality in the province of Camarines Norte due to the onslaught of Super Typhoon Pepito. The chief executive then thanked all those who worked to ensure the safety of Filipinos from the devastation brought by the typhoons, noting that Pepito wasn't as bad as we feared. Likewise, President Marcos thanked the public for heeding the call for cooperation, especially in monitoring and following government alerts. President Marcos Jr. has assured that relief operations and recovery efforts will continue in affected areas. The Philippine president also appealed to Filipinos to exemplify the spirit of Christmas and help those affected by the typhoons. Pepito, the sixth tropical cyclone to hit the Philippines in a month, dumped torrential rains and unleashed typhoon-force winds over the majority of Luzon and parts of the Visayas starting on November 15th. triggering flooding in several areas, especially in the Bicol region, which was battered by severe tropical storm Christine in late October. Pepito made landfall over Aurora province on Sunday afternoon and crossed the landmass of mainland Luzon.
Monitoring Pepito all night. Unfortunately, I'm sorry and saddened to report that meron tayong casualty na isa sa Cam Norte. And you know my feelings about that is that one casualty is one casualty too many. So that is unfortunate. However, I still would like to congratulate kailangan pasalamatan natin lahat ng mga first responder, yung mga LGU, lahat ng mga nagtatrabaho na pang-anim na nila. Ito, I'm sure that they are exhausted. I am sure that they have they continue to do and work with as hard as they can. Kaya tayo po yung nagpapasalamat sa kanila. At sa taong bayan din. At sila ay tumutulong at hanggat kaya at sinusundan naman ang ating mga bulletin tungkol sa kung anong kailangan gawin. Kaya kahit papano sa lakas ng Pepito ay hindi kasing sama ng aming kinakatakutan. It wasn't as bad as we feared. But now we will now carry on with the rescue of those isolated areas and the continuing relief for those who have been displaced and have no means to prepare their own meals and have no water supply. So yung ating relief na ginagawa kagaya ng dati. Rebuilding will also start to continue as well. So sana naman pagkadating ng Pasko, tayong mga Pilipino, alalahanin naman natin ang ating mga kababayan na kahit na sinasalanta at kahit papaano sana yung ating sanang gawing papamasko, pamahagin natin sa kanila. Kawawa naman at sila'y naghihirap.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
The United States has pledged $1 million in humanitarian funding to the Philippines after a series of typhoons battered parts of the archipelago. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd James Austin III made the announcement Monday in a courtesy call to President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in Malacañang. Austin offered the U.S.'s condolences to the victims of the 6 typhoons in the Philippines, which all hit the country within weeks. He assured that the U.S., as the Philippines' long-standing ally, is ready to assist Filipinos. Austin is in Manila for the signing of an agreement which will serve as a framework to facilitate the exchange of classified military information between the Philippines and the U.S. President Marcos said the new General Security and Military Information Agreement is a very important step in continued interoperability of the two allied militaries. The President likewise cited the importance of Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA sites, in the disaster response capabilities of the government, particularly in pre-positioning relief goods, personnel and equipment, as well as in rescue operations. Signed in 2014, the EDCA provides for Filipino and American soldiers to train together and allows the U.S. to build facilities and pre-position supplies and equipment inside strategically located bases in the country. There are currently 9 EDCA sites across the country: Cesar Basa Air Base in Florida Blanca, Pampanga Province, Fort Magsaysay Military Reservation in Nueva Ecija Province, Lumbia Airport in Cagayan de Oro, Antonio Bautista Air Base in Puerto Princesa, Palawan Province, Benito Ebuen Air Base in Cebu, Naval Base Camilo Osayas in Santa Ana, Cagayan, Lalo Airport in Lalo, Cagayan, Camp Melchor de la Cruz in Gamo, Isabela Province, and Balabac Island in Palawan.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. spoke to United States President-elect Donald Trump over the phone on Tuesday morning, where they discussed the long-standing alliance between their two countries. In a media interview during his visit to typhoon-hit communities in the province of Catanduanes, the president said he expressed to Trump the Philippines' openness to further deepen relations with its oldest and strongest military ally. The chief executive said he also expressed his intention to meet with Trump as soon as possible. President Marcos Jr. added that he told Trump that Filipinos in the U.S. voted overwhelmingly in his favor. Trump is set for his second term as U.S. President after winning the recently held elections. According to President Marcos, it is his mother, Imelda Marcos, who is a close friend of Trump. Although the Philippine president said they did not talk about the fears of a mass deportation of undocumented immigrants in the U.S. after Trump's win, President Marcos assured that the government is already working on it to assist affected Filipinos. Nonetheless, President Marcos said his conversation with Trump was very productive.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday led the distribution of more than 50 million pesos worth of government assistance to communities in Catanduanes Province after the onslaught of Super Typhoon Pepito. During the ceremony at the Virac Sports Complex, President Marcos handed over a check amounting to 50 million pesos in cash assistance from the Office of the President to the provincial government of Catanduanes. Likewise, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, provided food packs to the typhoon victims worth more than 600,000 pesos and cash aid worth 2.5 million pesos. In his speech, the chief executive assured the evacuees of continued supply of family food packs. Aside from relief goods, hygiene and medical kits are also being given. He assured the evacuees of continued government support for their recovery. Before the aid distribution, the President conducted an aerial inspection of the province to assess the extent of damage in areas where the super typhoon made landfall on November 16th. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
Kaya po kami nandito dahil nag-inspeksyon po kami at tinignan namin sa helicopter, nakita namin kung ano yung mga naging damage. At mukhang tama naman yung mga rini-report sa akin nung kami nasa Maynila at tinitignan namin ang sitwasyon dito sa inyo ay talaga ang naging problema dito ay yung hindi masyado sa ulan ngunit ang lalakas ng hangin. Kaya ay umabot yata rito ng 230 kilometers. At saka yung pagkabugsok ng hangin umaabot ng 300 plus kilometers per hour. Napakalakas po yun. At hindi naman kataka-taka. Kaya nung umiikot kami, nakikita talaga namin yung mga yero na mga building ay parang tinalupan na prutas at nawala lahat ng mga bubong. At nakita natin yung mga light materials lamang ay mga light construction materials namin ay talagang dala dahil sa lakas ng hangin. Kaya nandito po kami upang magbigay. Ito po nasa likod ko. Ito po ang mga relief goods namin. Ito ang food pack. Ito po ay pagkain sa bawat isang kahon para sa isang pamilya. Makakatagal po ito ng mga 3 araw. Mga halos ganun, ng 3 araw. Kaya lahat po ng nasa evacuation center na hindi pa makauwi ay binibigyan po namin nitong hanggat kailangan po ninyo. Walang deadline po ito. Hanggat kailangan ninyo na magkaroon pa ng food pack, magpapadala pa rin kami ng patuloy na pagpadala ng food pack. Pati yung mga na-displaced, na nawalan ng tirahan, na napunta sa bahay ng kanilang kapitbahay, ng kanilang kamag-anak, ng kanilang kaibigan, ay sila rin ay bibigyan po natin ng food pack at tuloy-tuloy ang suporta po ng ating gagawin. Kasunod na dyan, nakita po ninyo, meron dito ang IX payout. Ito naman po dahil ang mga iba't ibang pamilya ay may pangangailangan na hindi lamang food pack. Meron po kami mga sanitation, meron pa kami mga medical kit. Ngunit iba't ibang pamilya may pangangailangan na iba-iba. Kaya't meron din tayong binibigay na cash assistance. Itong cash assistance para magamit po ninyo na pambili. Kung may maliit kayong bata, pambili ng gatas. Kung meron kayong inaalagaan na may sakit, makabili ng gamot. Yun po, para yan po yan. At patuloy din po yan. Para naman patuloy natin tinutulungan ng ating mga kababayan na nangangailangan. Ang susunod talaga, pagkatapos po ng itong itinatawag na relief goods, yan po, ito yung food pack, ito po yung sanitation na pack, yung medical kit, lahat po yan. Bukod pa riyan, ay nakita naman po natin, kagaya ng aking nabanggit, ay ang talagang tinamaan, ay ang mga struktura ng mga bahay. Kaya ang reconstruction ngayon, ang ating bibigyan ng pansin. Dahil kailangan po nagbibigay po kami, wala pa rito, ngunit susunod na po. Magbibigay po kami ng mga building materials po, mga yero, mga 2x2, pati martilyo, pati pako, magdadala po kami para kahit papaano masimulaan ninyo ang pagpaayos ng mga inyong mga bahay, yung mga damaged na bahay, at saka ang tinitignan po namin ay yung damaged homes, at saka fully damaged homes. Yung fully damaged homes, wala na, hindi na maayos, kailangan magtayo ng bago. Yung partially damaged, yun pwede pang ayusin. Meron po tayong binibigay din na cash para makabili po ng mga iba't ibang gamit na pangangailangan ng mga magre-reconstruct at magre-rebuild ng inyong mga bahay. Ang susunod namin dyan, siyempre, kasabay niyan, ang kasabay po ng reconstruction ng mga individual na private na tirahan ay ang mga government buildings na tiyak po tayo, okay naman ang ospital, mga government buildings na nasira. Meron yata tayong mga bagong tapos na government building na nasira na naman. Wala tayong magagawa. Yan ang weather, kailangan na lang natin balikan. Para naman ang serbisyo ng pamahalaan, local government, national government, ay meron tayong headquarters, meron tayong magamit. Kaya't titiyakin natin na kahit papano, yung ating mga services na binibigay sa taong bayan ay tuloy-tuloy lang po. At yan po ang aming gagawin. Mula rito po, pupunta po kami at bibigyan po tayo ng mga report ng local government, ng lalawigan, ng bayan, ng mga iba't ibang bayan, at lahat po ng mga ahensya ng pamahalaan upang matignan natin kung ano ba talaga ang kailangan gawin. At pagbalik namin sa Maynila, ay alam na namin kung anong kailangan ipadala, anong schedule ang pagpadala, anong gamit ang kailangan pa ba ng food pack, kailangan na ba ng building materials, lahat po yan. Kaya yun po ang gagawin namin ngayon. At ngunit huwag kayong mag-alala, pag-alis po namin, tuloy-tuloy din po pag-distribute ng ating food packs, pagbigay ng IX payout, at lahat po ng pati na yung mga nasirang tanim, ang DA mag-inspeksyon dyan para ulit mabigyan ng suporta ang ating mga magsasaka. Nakita ko po yun naman mga fish pond, mukha namang medyo hindi gano'ng malaki ang sira, mayroong mga nasira. Kaya yun din para sa ating mga mangingisda ay magbibigay din tayo ng tulong para makabawi po at makabangon ulit mula dito sa bagyo na ito.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday extended his heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto and the Indonesian government for their goodwill as overseas Filipino worker or OFW Mary Jane Veloso is coming home. In a social media post, the president said this outcome is a reflection of the depth the Philippines' partnership with Indonesia, united in a shared commitment to justice and compassion. Veloso has been arrested in 2010 on drug trafficking charges and has been sentenced to death. The chief executive said that through diplomacy and consultations with the Indonesian government, the Philippine government managed to delay Veloso's execution long enough to reach an agreement to finally bring her back to the Philippines. On Friday, November 15th, the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA has confirmed that the Philippines and Indonesia are talking to come up with a mutually agreed solution in the case of Veloso. The confirmation came after Indonesia said it would consider transferring Veloso to a Philippine prison upon the country's request. In an interview, Foreign Affairs Undersecretary for Migration Eduardo Jose de Vega said they hope that they will come out with a mutually agreed solution, which will be to the utmost benefit for Ms. Veloso and her family. Veloso was jailed in 2010 and was sentenced to death in the same year after 2.6 kilograms of heroin was found in her suitcase. She was given a last-minute reprieve in April of 2015 when Manila informed their counterparts in Jakarta that her recruiters had surrendered. At that time, 8 other drug convicts, 7 foreigners and 1 Indonesian, were executed by firing squad. On November 11th, Indonesia's Coordinating Ministry for Legal, Human Rights, Immigration and Corrections said Jakarta is currently considering prisoner transfer for foreign inmates, including Veloso, in line with requests from the inmate's home country.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday expressed hope that peace will once again reign over Ukraine as Russia's full-scale invasion reached its 1,000th day. In a statement posted on social media, the president recounted his meeting with Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky in June. Zelensky visited Manila on June 3rd and met with President Marcos in Malacañang. The Ukrainian president thanked President Marcos for the Philippines' support and recognition of Ukraine's sovereignty. Ever since the war between Moscow and Kyiv broke out more than 2 years ago, Manila has voted in favor of the 6 resolutions of the UN General Assembly Emergency Special Session on Ukraine and has consistently supported Kyiv's sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. The chief executive said Ukraine is a valued partner of the Philippines and relations between both nations continue to go from strength to strength. Russia launched in February of 2022 a full-scale invasion of its neighbor Ukraine. setting off one of the bloodiest and most destructive conflicts since the Second World War.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday led the groundbreaking of the Meralco Terra or MTerra solar project, which is set to be the largest integrated solar and battery storage facility in the world. In his speech during the ceremony in Gapan City, Nueva Ecija Province, the president said the landmark project would position the Philippines as a leader in renewable energy. President Marcos said MTerra solar project is expected to become operational by 2027 and power over 2 million households and reduce carbon emissions of more than 4.3 million metric tons annually, which is equivalent to removing 3 million gasoline-powered cars from roads. The project spans 3,500 hectares across the provinces of Nueva Ecija and Bulacan. Aside from benefiting residents, the project is also set to create over 10,000 job opportunities, boost local economies, and open doors for growth and development. President Marcos said the 200 billion peso investment for the project demonstrates confidence in the stakeholders in the country's potential and their commitment to ensuring a stable, steady, and reliable power supply. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
Today we take a leap towards the future, driven by innovation and sustained by our collective hope for a cleaner and greener Philippines. We stand together at the site of what will become the largest integrated solar and battery storage facility in the world, the Terra Solar Project. This landmark project will put our country on the map as a leader in renewable energy. To Meralco, Terra Solar Philippines Inc., Solar Philippines New Energy Corporation, MGen Renewable Energy Inc., and other partners behind these projects. Your efforts have shown that we can forge ahead as key players in the world's energy revolution. The Terra Solar Power Project is designed to address two critical challenges of our time: the surging demand for electricity and the pressing need to shift to renewable and sustainable sources of that energy. With an investment of over 200 billion pesos, this demonstrates confidence in the stakeholders in our nation's potential and our commitment to securing a stable, steady, reliable, and sustainable power supply. Once fully operational by 2027, this facility will deliver 3,500 megawatts peak of solar power to the Luzon grid, with 4,500 megawatt hour of battery energy storage. A 13-kilometer, 500 kilovolt transmission line will connect this project to the power grid, ensuring that clean energy reaches Filipino homes and businesses with efficiency. This project will energize over 2 million households and reduce carbon emissions by more than 4.3 million metric tons annually. To put that into perspective, it is the equivalent of removing 3 million gasoline-powered cars from our roads, decisive action towards helping address global warming and climate change. By leveraging our abundant solar resources, the Terra Solar Project will help stabilize our power supply, reduce energy costs, and contribute significantly to our target of 35% renewable energy share in the power generation mix by the year 2030. This initiative will also benefit the communities that host it, spanning 5 municipalities across Nueva Ecija and Bulacan. It is estimated that the project will create over 10,000 jobs. Certainly, it will stimulate local economies and open countless opportunities for growth and development in those communities. Over the next decade, it is poised to generate nearly 23 billion pesos in financial benefits, resources that will pave the way for even greater progress. The impacts and advancements of this project are amongst those that we envisioned when I spoke about energy in my recent State of the Nation address. We are working towards a steady and reliable power supply that will meet the demands of today and continuously fuel our ambitions for tomorrow. Projects like Terra Solar bring us closer to that vision. I call on all the government agencies, national, local, and private sector entities to fully support this endeavor by ensuring its timely completion. Let us do the same for all renewable projects. From powering our homes and industries to illuminating our collective aspirations, let this serve as a reminder. When we come together, united in purpose and action, there is no task too daunting, no challenge too great, and no goal beyond our reach. The strong typhoons that we have been experiencing should further strengthen our resolve to find and facilitate solutions that will save our planet and the future of mankind. I hope that beyond the technical and economic milestones brought about by this project, let us remember the broader goal that drives us. It is a bagong Pilipinas, where our needs are met responsibly, equitably, and sustainably. Let us ensure that Terra Solar becomes a beacon of hope and progress, a testament to what we can achieve when we protect and preserve our natural resources while drawing strength from its abundance. Together, let us create a brighter, more inclusive, more sustainable future for all Filipinos.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday credited the strong and deep relationship between the Philippines and Indonesia for saving the life of Mary Jane Veloso. The president made the pronouncement as he bared that Indonesia had reduced the death sentence of Veloso to life imprisonment. In a media interview in Nueva Ecija province, President Marcos said the commutation of Veloso's death sentence to life imprisonment was his administration's initial goal. The president said the flourishing relationship between Manila and Jakarta carried on to the leadership of Widodo's successor, President Prabowo Subianto, which then paved the way for Jakarta's eventual decision to approve the transfer of Veloso.
Matagal na trabaho yan. That took a long time. Since I came into office, what we were working on was tanggalin na siya sa death row. Unang-una, to commute her sentence to life. Nung nangyari yun, when we were able to achieve that, we continued to work with them. It was still with the Widodo government at the time, na kung paano, how we will do it para pauwiin. Mabuti na lang that our relations with Indonesia, our relations with then President Widodo and all of these people, together with our relations now with the new President, President Prabowo, dahil maganda naman ng ating relasyon, nakahanap sila, gumawa sila ng paraan. This is the first time they did this. Gumawa sila ng paraan para, sabi nila, wala naman silang interest na ikulong, wala naman silang interest na execute ang si Mary Jane Veloso. Ngunit, kaya naman, sabi nila, hanap na lang tayo ng paraan. And they did it for us. Kaya malaki dapat ang pasasalamat natin sa Indonesia, malaki dapat ang pasasalamat natin sa yung last president at yung present president, President Widodo, President Prabowo ngayon. Dahil kung hindi sa kanilang pagsang-ayon ay hindi natin nagawa ito. But as I said, we have been working on this for all the previous president, hindi lang ako. 10 years na ito 10 years na ito. Pero ang nagawa natin, napakommute natin ang sentensya niya from death sentence to life imprisonment. Tapos ang nasunod doon ay napauwi na natin. But we will have to decide what will happen next.
Veloso was jailed in 2010 and was sentenced to death in the same year after 2.6 kilograms of heroin was found in her suitcase. She was spared from the firing squad at the last minute in 2015 after Philippine officials asked then-President Widodo to let her testify against her illegal recruiters who are being tried in the country. Since then, the Philippine government made unprecedented efforts to appeal her case. On Wednesday morning, President Marcos announced that Indonesia had agreed to transfer Veloso to the Philippines, which Jakarta later confirmed. The Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, said the two sides will iron out the details of Veloso's transfer.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine government has relieved 2,487 agrarian reform beneficiaries, or ARBs, in the province of Pampanga of over 206 million pesos in debts and obligations on agricultural lands awarded under the Agrarian Reform Program. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday led the distribution of certificates of condonation and release of mortgage, or COCROMs, to the ARBs in a ceremony at the Don Honorio Ventura State University in Bacolor Town in Pampanga. The condonation of all unpaid principal amortizations, interest, and surcharges of ARBs on agricultural lands awarded under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program is mandated under Republic Act, or RA number 11953, or the new Agrarian Emancipation Act, or NAEA, which President Marcos signed into law in July last year. According to the president, the move is in line with his administration's thrust to help farmers and the agricultural sector. President Marcos also handed 30 Certificates of Land Ownership Awards, or CLOAs, covering over 3,900 hectares of land to ARBs. In the same speech, the president bared that the government is looking to establish more seedling nurseries across the country to reduce reliance on importation of agricultural goods to meet local demand. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
Maraming salamat po sa mainit na pagtanggap ninyo sa amin. Sa tuwing nakikita ko sa aking kalendaryo na may nakalagay na Distribution of Certificate of Land Ownership Award, o tinatawag na CLOA, at kasabay ang Certificate of Condonation with Release of Mortgage, o yung tawag naman natin ay COCROM, talagang hindi ko mapigilan na bilangin ang mga araw hanggat ako'y makarating. Sapagkat ang pagtitipon natin na ganito ay nangangahulugan na makakapaghatid kami sa inyo ng serbisyo na pinakamahalagang parte ng aming trabaho. Nitong mga nakaraang linggo, 6 na sunod-sunod na bagyo ang dumaan sa ating bansa, nagdulot ng napakalaking pinsala. Kasama sa mga lubos na naapektuhan ng mga kalamidad, ang ating mga magsasaka na ang kabuhayan ay madalas na nakadepende sa panahon. Ngunit sa pagkakataong ito, nais po namin mabawasan ang inyong iniisip at inaalala. Kasama ng kagawaran ng reformang pansakahan na pinangungunahan ni Kalihim Conrad Estrella, namamahagi po kami ng 30 CLOA sa 28 Agrarian Reform Beneficiary o ARBs at halos 3,000 COCROM sa kulang-kulang 2,500 benepisyaryo ng reformang pansakahan. Sa kabuuan po, nakakahalaga ng mahigit 206 na milyong piso ng utang ng mga magsasaka ay burado na po, wala nang bisa. Kasama na rito ang amortisasyon, ang interes at iba pang mga surcharge na nakakaangkla sa inyong mga lupang sakahan sa loob ng napakahabang panahon. Simula ngayon, pinapawalang bisa na po natin ang inyong utang sa lupang ipinagkaloob sa inyo sa ilalim ng reformang agraryo. Isa pa ito sa talaga na ating mga layunin. Isang hakbang ito upang pagtibayin pa ang sektor ng agrikultura at matulungan na maiangat ang antas ng pamumuhay ng ating mga magsasaka. Lagi ko pong naikikwento sa ating mga magsasaka na kami ni Secretary Conrad ang nagpapatuloy na nasimulan ng aking ama at ang kanyang lolo. Dahil po, nagsimula ang reformang agraryo sa administrasyon ng aking ama. At kasama naman niya yung kanyang kalihim ng DAR. Ang lolo naman is Secretary Conrad na kapangalan din niya, Conrado Estrella. At ngayon, sa ilalim ng administrasyong ito, aking nilagdaan ang New Agrarian Emancipation Act na siyang nagpapalaya sa ating mga magsasaka mula sa pagkakautang sa lupang pang-agraryo. Si Secretary Conrad naman ngayon ang kalihim ng DAR na nagpapatupad nito. Kaya naman, sa buong sigasig namin ni Secretary Conrad na kailangan na ipagpatupad namin ang programang ito, naniniwala kami na nararapat lamang na mas pag-ibayuhin ang kakayahan ng ating mga ARBs o ng ating mga beneficiary. Patuloy ang pamahalaan sa pag-iisip ng mga makabagong paraan upang lalong mapaunlad ang sektor ng agrikultura. Kaugnay nito, nagpulong kami kahapon ng iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno kasama ang pribadong sektor. Dito nagmungkahi ng mga hakbang na paramihin pa ang ating mga seedling nursery na sa buong bansa para mapaigting pa natin ang pagtatanim ng mga gulay at bigas. Ito po yung programang ginawa po namin ay yung seedling production. Para po ang ating mga magsasaka ay ang kanilang ginagamit na variety na itatanim, hindi lamang na palay, kundi pati na ang mga gulay, yung pinakamaganda at sapat na hindi na tayo nag-i-import. Nag-i-import pa tayo ng mga seedling, dapat kayang-kaya naman natin gawin dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya't yan po ang ating bagong programa para paramihin ang seedling production dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi na tayo mag-import at kasama dyan ang ating mga magsasaka. Pinakamagandang seedling ang kanilang gagamitin sa kanilang pagtatanim. Sigurado ako na sa ganitong paraan ay makakatulong ito sa ilang pangunahing industriya ninyo rito sa Pampanga, kagaya ng pagsasaka, specialty food, at ang food processing. At hindi lang pala rito, hindi lang kilala ang mga Kapampangan. Nabalitaan ko ang inyong lalawigan ang pinakamalaking supplier ng itlog dito sa Central Luzon, na kumakatawan sa 17% ng kabuuang produksyon ng itlog sa buong Pilipinas. Sa tulong ng Partnership Against Hunger and Poverty Program ng gobyerno, isa sa mga kapuri-puring kontribusyon ng inyong probinsya ay ang patuloy na pagsusupply ng itlog sa ating mga persons deprived of liberty o yung tinatawag ng mga PDL sa mga bilangguan o BJMP na facilities. Ang programang ito ay isang halimbawa ng magandang pagtutulungan ng pribadong sektor at ng pamahalaan. Talaga naman pong napakalaki ang maitutulong ng kababayan natin Kapampangan sa pangkalahatang pag-unlad ng ating bansa. Ang mga proyektong gaya nito ay nag-uudyok sa amin na maging mas porsigido pa sa pag-abot ng tulong. Naway magsilbing inspirasyon din ang aming handog ngayong araw para sa panibagong yugto sa inyong mga buhay, kung saan hindi lamang kayo at ang inyong pamilya ang aasenso, maging ang buong bansa ay kasama ninyo sa inyong tagumpay. Ito po ang aking panawagan. Magkaisa tayo sa pagtatanim ng mga binhi ng pag-asa para sa bagong Pilipinas.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, as the administration upholds its unwavering commitment to accelerating recovery efforts in typhoon-affected areas, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Friday distributed various government assistance to the people of Nueva Vizcaya province as he visited the municipality of Bambang. Anchored in a whole-of-government approach, the President witnessed the distribution of food packs provided by the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, to around 1,000 beneficiaries affected by Super Typhoon Pepito in the province. Another DSWD assistance includes 5,000 pesos in cash aid to beneficiaries under the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situation, or IEX program. President Marcos Jr. also handed over financial assistance from the Office of the President worth 50 million pesos to the provincial government of Nueva Vizcaya. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
Andito po tayo ngayon para tignan, nag-inspection po kami kasama ni Governor at inikot namin, tinignan po namin yung mga damage at kung ano yung mga pangyayari. At nandito naman kami ngayon dito sa distribution center upang matiyak na maganda at sapat ang ating mga supply para ibibigay sa mga nangangailangan. At alam nyo po, ito na yung pepito yung dumaan ay ang pang-anim na bagyo na dumaan sa Pilipinas sa wala pang 4 na linggo, 23 days. 23 days. Within 23 days, 6. Ang tawag namin sa series na bagyo na KLMNOP. Dahil nag-umpisa sa Christine, napatapos sa Pepito. At kaya naman, tinitiyak namin, kahit na maraming request para dito sa mga relief goods, tinitiyak ko, kausap ko nga si Secretary Rex Gatchalian na tiyakin na kahit papano, meron tayong sapat na maibibigay. Dahil yung ang report ni Secretary Rex, ang damaged homes daw, 500. So 500 ang damaged homes. Ngayon, lahat ng mga nawalan ng bahay o hindi matirahan ng bahay, ay kailangan nandito kung nasa evacuation center o kung nandun man sila sa mga bahay na matirahan ng kanilang mga kamag-anak at ng kanilang mga kaibigan, ay kailangan pa rin namin tulungan at mabigyan nitong food pack. Kaya importante na sapat ang aming supply, patuloy ang aming pag-produce nito. Dahil nga, inaalala ko lagi, sa dami ng dumaan na bagyo, sa dami ng mga naging biktima, ay nahirap naman, maubusan tayo dito. Kaya lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno ay nandito upang tumulong. Nandito po, papakilala ko na rin sa inyo. At ito si Secretary Rex Gatchalian, siya yung unang nakarating dito, siya yung sa DSWD. At siya ang laging nauuna kapag meron na naman tayong nabalitaang bagyo, may mga area na tinamaan. Andito rin po para i-assess ang naging damage sa agrikultura. Nandito po ang DA Secretary, Department of Agriculture Secretary, Secretary Kiko Laurel. Andyan din po para i-assess. Ganun din po, nakita na po namin yung mga ibang damage dun sa mga flood control. At siya po ang gumagawa ngayon ng plano para paayos natin, para patibayin pa natin ng kung meron mang may sumunod pa na bagyo ay hindi na masisira ulit. Nandito po ang DPWH, Public Works and Highways Secretary, Secretary Manny Bunuan. Andito rin po, pero Secretary, dahil meron kaming ibang lakad mamaya, at nandito po, tiga-atin din, ang Secretary ng Department of Agrarian Reform. Dahil mamimigay na naman ng titulo mamaya ito si Secretary Conrado Estrella. Andito rin po ang ating DILG Secretary dahil po lahat itong aming ginagawa, hindi namin kayang gawin kung national government lamang ang lumalakad. Lalo na mga first responder, puro mga local government units ang first responder. Kaya kung ano man ang gagawin namin sa bawat lugar, we always coordinate very closely with the local government. At alam naman natin, you are the first responders and you are the ones, kayo ang pinaka nakakaalam kung saan ang problema at kadalasan kung paano aayusin yung problema. Kaya napakahalaga ng ginaganap ng ating DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla. Ang isa pang cabinet secretary na kasama natin ngayong araw ay nakakunot na yung noo dahil iniisip niya paano ibabalik ang kuryente sa lahat ng iba't ibang lugar. Alam naman natin, minamadali niya, ginagawa niya ang lahat para mabalik lahat ng ating mga serbisyo para sa taong bayan. Ang ating Department of Energy Secretary Populutilla. At marami pang iba't ibang ahensya ang kasama sa ating ginagawa. At dahil po, kung titingnan ninyo, hindi lang DSWD ang inaasahan namin. Hindi lang ang NDRMC para sa disaster response. Kami, ang aming ginagawa, tawag namin is whole of government approach. Yung buong pamahalaan. Hindi lamang isang departamento, hindi lamang 2 departamento, kundi ang buong pamahalaan ay nagtutulungan para makatulong para sa pagdala ng tulong para sa ating mga kababayan na nangangailangan na naging biktima dito sa mga disaster. Kaya po ay kung titignan po ninyo, marami pong galing sa iba't ibang ahensya at huwag po natin makakalimutan ang ating mga private sector na tumutulong. Ang private sector, yung mga negosyante po, lalo na yung mga malalaking negosyante, yung mga mayayaman, sa awa naman ng Diyos, sila ay tumutulong. Kaya pasalamatan din natin sila sa kanilang binibigay na tulong dahil nakikita naman natin ang malasakit nila at pagmamahal nila sa taong bayan. Kaya po, ito lahat ay pinagsasama-sama natin kasi ang aming gagawin ay mula ngayon, we will continue to distribute itong relief goods hanggang hindi na nangangailangan ang ating mga kababayan, ang mga tiga-Biskaya. So tuloy-tuloy yan hanggat makabalik na kayo sa kayong tinitirahan at meron na kayong kaya na ninyong bumalik sa dati ninyong buhay. At hindi lang dito ay meron pa kaming cash na ibibigay na para sa mga nasiraan ng bahay at at yung mga nangangailangan dahil po ang nakita namin sa mga disaster response, siyempre ang una yung pagkain, yung tubig, lahat yan, mga supply na ganyan, yun ang dapat uunahin. Ngunit, habang pag dumaan ng mga 1 linggo, wala pang 1 linggo, bawat pamilya may sariling pangangailangan na hindi kasama sa food pack, hindi kasama sa medical kit, hindi kasama doon sa mga aming binibigay. Kaya magbibigay kami ng cash para doon sa mga naging biktima para meron silang gamitin para makabili kayo ng inyong mga pangangailangan. Sa agrikultura naman, sa ating mga magsasaka, ay titignan namin, ina-assess ngayon ng DA, ang Department of Agriculture, ina-assess ngayon nila kung ano yung maging damage. Ngayon, hihilingin namin sa local government kung gagawa tayo ng listahan ng magiging farmer beneficiaries dahil kailangan natin bigyan ng assistance. Ang assistance, meron tayong cash assistance para sa mga farmer, para sa mga magsasaka. Meron din tayong non-cash. Ibig sabihin, yung mga high-value crops na nasira, na nakita natin doon sa upstream ng tulay na pinakita ninyo sa akin kanina, maraming gulay galing dito. Kaya't nagtaasan na yung presyo. Kasi hindi pa naman naging shortage Pero in anticipation of a shortage, nagtaasan na yung presyo. Kaya kailangan balikan natin kaagad yan. Ang maganda riyan, kompleto naman tayo. We will provide seedlings, we will provide fertilizer, we will provide all other inputs para naman baka makabalik kayo kaagad sa inyong ginagawa. At yan ang magiging trabaho ng Department of Agriculture. Sa ngayon, dahil yung early this week lang nangyari ito, panay pa rin ang assess namin. Yung mga numero namin, kung ilan yung bahay na nasira, ay baka aakyat pa yan. Yung listahan ng mga beneficiaries sa agriculture lalo, kailangan din patuloy ang ating assessment. At siguro hindi tayo magugulat na dadami pa yan. So patuloy lang ang mga local offices naman ng ating mga agency, yan ang kanilang ginagawa ngayon, nag-assess at nag-coordinate sa local government para malaman nga natin kung sino yung mga nabiktima at sino yung mga nangangailangan ng tulong. So, hindi po kami titigil. Gagawin namin, hindi po mauubos ito. Huwag kayo mag-alala. Kahit na sunod-sunod yung bagyo, meron naman tayo, kagaya ng aking sinabi, meron naman tayong pagkukuhanan at tuloy-tuloy ang ating pag-produce nitong mga relief goods at tuloy-tuloy naman hanggat may request ay tuloy-tuloy pa ang aming pagbigay.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 9.475 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.820 MHz. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang in Review. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.